Hey, what's up guys, it's me again and welcome back to my channel Mayta What Ifs. Today I'm back with a new short movie. The name of the short movie is What If Naruto Was Trained by Hiruzen and Danzo and Became a Tyrant. And yeah guys, it is an unscripted short movie. Now before continuing this, shout out is due where it is due. Shout out to Spidey XR for suggesting this idea. While making this idea I got sick, but I was able to make it into a short movie instead of a movie. Funny thing. And not only that, yeah, I forgot to add on a little detail that might piss off Spidey. Sorry, my guy, but yeah, there might be no ship in this story. Sorry about that. But hey, it is a lot of action packed and so on. I hope you enjoy this story. And if you do, then make sure you leave a like and subscribe to the channel. And if you have any suggestions, you can put them in the comment section. I am making your stories ideas one by one. So yeah, I begin with Spidey. I'll be working on a lot of interesting ideas. I mean, there's one guy who suggested that I should make a reverse neglected one where instead of Naruto, Man Mayta would be neglected. That would be quite interesting. What do you guys think? Do let me know in the comment section what we should add and how should the story go. Or the movie goes. Anyways, enough of my yapping. Without any further ado, let's begin with our today's story. Our story begins in Konoha Gakure no Sato, at the night of the Kyuubi attack. As we go towards the village to see that, everything was in shambles. Destruction was everywhere, as far as the eyes could go. The screams of the villagers could be heard, and amongst all of them, we see the third Hokage Hiruzen Sarutobi walking back towards the village from the outer gates. As his gaze went from left to right, as he saw the people crying, looking at him, and hugging their dead loved ones that had died tonight. And amongst all of this chaos, he was holding on to a newborn child that was resting in his one arm, and in his other arm was his other responsibility, and that was being the leader of this village once more. As now we see him walking towards the center heart of the village where the Hokage office was situated. As following him were his men. As after arriving inside the Hokage office, we see that in the front gates stood the three elders, Koharu, Homura, and Danzo Shimura. As the three of them were already waiting for him there, as he stood there, watching them. "Looks like you all have gathered already," said Hiruzen. "Of course we have, Hiruzen, but before we go in, there's something that I would like to discuss with you in private." As now we see, Hiruzen's eyebrow rose, even if the situation was dire, and people needed an explanation, and fast. Hiruzen understood where Danzo was coming from, so he decided to humor him and listen to him as well. "Alright, Danzo." As now we see both of them inside the Hokage office, while both of the other elders went to the council chamber where all of the council members from civilians to the shinobi clan heads were gathered alongside them. As Hiruzen then said, "Talk. What do you want to discuss?" "It's regarding that boy that you are holding." As Hiruzen's eyes narrowed, "Mark my words, Danzo, if this is..." As he was cut off by Danzo himself. "Relax, Hiruzen. I'm not going to say that that boy should be used as a weapon or so on. The boy is, well, the legacy of the fourth and Kushina, is he not?" As Hiruzen's eyes widened, but then they returned back to normal. It was quite obvious that Danzo would be the one to figure it out easily. "Figures you would have known. Obviously. So, what else do you want to talk about if you know about his heritage?" "I'm not going to blackmail you or anything. Tonight events were quite horrific, Hiruzen, and as you know, we barely were able to survive, all thanks to Minato and his sacrifice, which was a noble one as well." As Hiruzen nodded, "Yes? What are you getting at, Danzo?" "You can't see? What I'm getting at is we have gotten older, Hiruzen. We are of the past. We should pass on this torch. Sensei was right. Hashirama-sama was right. The torch needs to be passed down to someone who can hold it firmly." "I see what you're getting at, but still, I don't see us meeting here like this in private unless you're saying that." "Yes. I want us both to train the boy." "What? What do you mean by that?" "Think about it, Hiruzen. The boy's parents sacrificed themselves for the whole village and for him, and gave him the Kyuubi, I'm suspecting." "You're right about that," said Hiruzen, not denying it. "Since he's the Jinchuriki as well, it's obvious that we need to focus on him more, and if he's out there in public, the people will, one way or another, find a way to vent out their anger of tonight on him, whether you like it or not, because this is how the people work. This is how their mind work and emotion work, which I'm hardly against. As now we see, Hiruzen said, I can't argue with you there. But mark my words, Danzo, I'm not gonna make him into a weapon for mass destruction like you have imagined. Of course not. I have realized two things in my life. One needs emotion, but in control of them as well, so that he can make rash decisions, like Tobirama sensei. So you're saying that both of us should work together to make an ideal Hokage? Is that what you're saying? As Danzo then turned from him towards the village, looking out of the window of the Hokage office. Yes. All my life I wanted to be the Hokage, but tonight it has proven to me again and again that I can never be a Hokage, and the torch must be passed on to the next generation. I was jealous of you, and even jealous when Minato became the Hokage, but now I realize why you made that decision, because if it me at the front line, we might have gotten way worse than what we have right now. I guess it is what it is then. So what do you plan to do this? How do you plan to do this? Said Hiruzen, as Danzo smirked. First we gotta deal with the council. And how are you going to do that? Summon Kakashi here. As after that we see, signaling his Anbu, Kakashi arrived there. Kakashi Hatake, you are hereby discharged from your Anbu duties. But you're given a new duty and job, and that is to watch over Naruto until he's able to walk and able to learn. And that is when you are to report to us. We will watch him from the shadows, and making sure that we are able to protect him at all costs, from within and from the outside as well. What are you planning at, Danzo? He needs to disappear, because that is how we're gonna deal with the outer threats and from the threats that could lie upon the life of the boy from within. The people of Konoha and their hatred. Don't take lightly of it, Hiruzen. As after that, Hiruzen knew why Danzo was doing this, so he agreed. As now we see in the council meeting, it was described that the Hokage's child died due to him becoming the Jinchuriki of the Biju. People, instead of being sad, the civilians celebrated the death of their savior's child, while on the other side, the clan heads became sad because a whole legacy of the Uzumaki Namikazes just perished just because of a QB attack. Well, most of them thought so, but one of them, who was at the front lines, Shikaku Nara, knew, and he remained silent. As now we see, after everyone left, Shikaku was held back, as he then said towards Hiruzen, "Why are you holding me back, Hokage-sama? I saw your expressions. You have some questions. If you have any, you can ask me. Regarding the meeting, or regarding what you lied about, regarding Minato and Kushina's son." As Hiruzen's eyes widened, and then he smirked. "I knew that you would be the one to figure it out. What are you planning at, Hokage-sama? Why have you kept this a secret? Minato and Kushina would have not wanted this." "We are doing this," said Danzo as he appeared from the shadows, "Shikaku, because we know that he would be put in danger if he is exposed to the public or to the outer world right now. Because Minato and Kushina might have been great shinobis, but they had made a lot of enemies because of that. And their primary target to get back at their parents would be Naruto. And that is why what we did. We made him disappear, in a sense, and he will appear later on. So is the boy safe?" As the Jonin commander, as well as Minato and Kushina's good old friend, I have a right to know. Of course he is. Kakashi, his student, is watching over him. And we are also surveillancing them both, making sure that they are protected and well guarded all the times. I don't know what you two are playing at, but seeing you two work together, combining your strength, if it is that much serious, then I guess I won't question it. I'll believe in the process. And with those words said, Shikaku Nara left. As now we see time begin to pass by, as the both elders, Hiruzen and Danzo, monitored that Naruto begin to grow, and under Kakashi, who always filled into his curiosity and his learning instincts, Naruto began to develop the both best of his parents, as he had a kang for both Fuinjutsu and for Kenjutsu as well, from Kushina, regarding his, Uzumaki heritage. And he was also smart, like Minato. He was so smart, in fact, that he was able to learn Rasengan S-class jutsu, which was incomplete and was created by his own father just at the age of 5, while also unlocking his chakra at the age of 4. But it was all kept a secret, as now we see at the age of 5, Naruto and Kakashi arrived inside the Hokage office. As there, Naruto met with Danzo Shimura and Hiruzen Sarutobi. As Naruto, meeting first time to the Hokage, then said, "Greetings, Hokage-sama. It's an honor to meet you. It is also an honor to meet you as well, honorary elder." As Danzo then said, "You have good manners, boy. But do you know why we have called you here?" "Well, it might be because of my heritage or because of what I contain, is it not?" As Kakashi, as well as the other two, were shocked. But more than ever, it was Kakashi who was shocked. "How do you know, Naruto? I never told you anything about this." "It's simple. I resemble the fourth a lot, and you always told me that the fourth son died while he was used as the Jinchuriki of the Biju. When I unlocked my chakra, I was able to tap into a space that was different, a mindscape of a sort, where I saw huge bars, and it had contained a kanji for seal. I could see two red blood eyes with slits in them, staring back at me. Did you speak to the Kyuubi?" said Hiruzen, slamming his hands both on the table. "No, I didn't. We just stared at each other for some time before I left. There was no confrontation, Hokage-sama." As Hiruzen sighed. But on the other side, they were scared because Naruto was quite a genius that he himself figured it out on his own. "This is remarkable, Hiruzen. The boy was able to figure it out, and we don't need to explain anything to him right now. You see, Naruto, we hid you ourselves because we knew the enemies of your parents and the people who have lost their loved ones won't sit still if they find out that you contain the Biju or you are their son. They will try to get back at you one way or another, target your life, within and outside the village. And that is why we had to do this. And I ask for your forgiveness for hiding this fact from you." "It's alright. At least I was able to be raised by a good Nissan, if anything else." As Kakashi, I smiled, feeling a little bit proud that he, for the first time, was not late in rescuing anyone, and was able to be there for someone who needed him. As now we see, Danzo then spoke and said, "We are going to begin your training, Naruto. It will be a hellish one, but we have chosen you as the successor of your father and of Hiruzen once more." "I'm sorry, I don't understand. Why?" "You see, Naruto, we in our life have understood one thing, and that is that the new generation needs to be prepared for the future. And we have chosen you for that role. Why? Because your parents have sacrificed a lot for this village and for you. So you think that it is my obligation to follow in their footsteps," said Naruto with a raised eyebrow. "It is your choice," said Hiruzen, as Danzo also nodded. "We won't force you if you don't wish to become a Hokage or even a shinobi. But remember this. You are the last of your kind, Naruto. And we have a lot of expectations from you. And so did your parents. We would be grateful if you at least consider following in their footsteps." "But I don't even have a goal yet. I mean, being a Hokage and all that is good, but what will happen if the villagers find out that I am still alive and I still contain the Biju within me? Years have passed, Naruto, and more years will pass before that thing will come, and time will come. And when that happens, the people hatred will die down. We know that for sure. Even if it doesn't, we have a strategy that will allow us to turn the tides into your favor. What do you say, Naruto?" As Naruto was thought for a bit, as that is when he looked towards, well, his Nissan, Kakashi. "What do you think, Nissan? What should I do?" "Well, it is your decision, Naruto. I won't force you to choose." As Naruto was now on the spot, and he had to think of an answer quickly. And so he sighed and said, "What the hell, why not? If this is how things are going to be in the future, knowing that I'm the Jinchuriki and won't be able to live a normal life, so be it. I'd rather be a Hokage than be a, well, demon in the eyes of a people. As now we see, the three of them smile because Naruto was a smart kid who was able to realize and deduce the situation from the future perspective. As now we see, time began to pass by some more as Naruto's training, which was quite hellish and ruggish, began with the Anbu team, Team Ryu, in which Kakashi was back reinstated as the Anbu captain of the said team, as Naruto moved as well from Kakashi Hatake household to, well, the Anbu headquarters, where he received and got treated like an Anbu. As now we see, Naruto reached at the age of 8. 3 years have went by since his training has begun. He, thanks to Yagao Uzuki, has become a good Kenjutsu master as well, and Fuinjutsu master as well. And not only that, he has also learned from within the Anbus how to set up traps and use chakra wires that allow him to trap his enemies within. He has also gotten much more ruthless as well as cold in due time as well. Why? Because it was Anbu commander who made him endure torture training, because it was also a part of ritual of the Anbus. As now we see Naruto at the age of 8, standing in Anbu attire, with a fox mask halted onto his, well, belt, hands tied behind his back, looking towards both of the elders, as his team commander Kakashi and the whole team was behind. As now we see, Hiruzen said, Anbu commander, Inu, Kakashi, what do you think of your newly recruited member, Fox? With all due respect to Kage-sama, Fox has shown exponential skills and we think he is ready for the real experience out there. What do you think, Kakashi? As Kakashi also nodded, as now we see, it was Itachi who spoke. His genjutsu abilities are quite exponential. He was able to track and disable my genjutsus, and it was quite surprising when he did that. He's always able to find out a loophole in between genjutsus, to the point where it's almost frightening, at the same time quite astonishing. It has also helped me grow quite strong. As one by one all of the team members began to praise him, as both of the elders were quite pleased. For the time being you need to rest. We will give you a mission tomorrow. As now we see both of the elders and the Hokage remained. What do you say, Hiruzen? This calls for a cheer and a toast. Not gonna lie, it does. Naruto's training has gone on exponentially. Even if it is brutal and ruthless one, it is needed. Because life out there is not going to be easy. If he is to become the perfect Hokage, we have to make sure that he's ready for all and every situations. You're right about that. This job is one hell of a life drainer, that is, said Hiruzen. As now we see, Hiruzen then said, Say, Danzo, what do you think? What mission should we give to Naruto as his first mission? What about that Anbu of ours that ran rogue and stole the sensei's sword? Ah, the Raijin sword, huh? Yes. I heard that he's somewhere near in Konoha walls. What? What do you mean? He's near Konoha outer walls and is living nearby. They're planning a robbery or something like that of sorts. Don't get me wrong, but how did you got that information, Danzo? Asked Hiruzen. I have my own sources like you have yours. Let's end it at there. Bastard. You still are operating Root, are you not? Root is needed as much as the Anbus are, because we in the shadows do the dirty work that Konoha and the shinobis won't. Untraceable and doing the job done. Damn it, if it wasn't that much important, I would have demolished that, well, good for nothing squadron for all by myself. But I guess it is needed, as you're right. And at this time as well, since the tensions are getting high. What do you mean by that? Said Danzo as he frowned. It seems that Suna is also planning something, as is Eva. It could be a hunch, but Jiraiya sent it in a letter that there has been some meetings going on between the Kazekage and Tsuchikage. This is not good. Suna has been our allies for quite a while now. If they're planning an attack on Konoha, this could be disastrous. Jiraiya says that it looks like more of a transaction between them, exchanging bandits or shinobis that were captured in the war of some sort. But still, if they come to a truce and decide to join hands together, what will happen? It won't. Jiraiya is there, and he is monitoring the situation closely. Right now, we have a mission to give to our newly instated Anbu. As now we see, the next morning Naruto was given the mission, and he and his team went there. Naruto held on to his katana as he unsheathed it and waited in the shadows. As now we see, the group, after locating down the bandits, rushed in, as Naruto was the one whose primary target was the shinobi that dashed away with the Raijin sword. He was using it even to harm some of the Anbu members, but Naruto was able to use chakra wire and tie his leg and twisted his hands, tightening the chakra wire so much that the leg became useless of the man as he fell down face first to the ground in the mud. As Naruto began to walk towards him, and that is when the man using the Raijin appeared behind Naruto once more. Naruto immediately turned around, unholstering a kunai from his pouch and literally slashed the kunai upwards, causing a huge gash to appear on the man's chest and face. As Naruto jumped far away, as the katana of Raijin came down slashing at him, barely missing him by a few inches, as Naruto landed a few feet behind. Seeing that, Kakashi and the others rushed in. Naruto, are you alright? Everything is fine, Nissan. I got him. As the man who was injured was now on the ground, his katana was taken away from him. The second Hokage's prized possession, the Raijin sword, was taken back into the custodies of Anbu team from Konoha. It was all thanks to Naruto. As Naruto was a little bit shaken up because he was experiencing this for the first time. Even it wasn't a kill. He was almost in a life and death situation where he could have died. But he was able to control himself and came out on top in the end. You did good, kid, said a voice that Naruto was shocked to hear. It was Anbu Commander. Anbu Commander-sama, what are you doing here? It's simple. I'm here to monitor my team, how they work. Especially you, Fox. You've done a good job. All of you deserve some rest. Go and give this sword to the Hokage-sama. Leave the cleaning up to me and my other team. Hi. As with that, the Team Ryu was discharged and they went back towards the Hokage office with that sword. As now we see, seeing Naruto's progress, they were quite happy. As time passed by, as Naruto, at the age of 10, one more year later, was called back. For 1 year, he went on missions and was able to get his first kill as well. It was quite hard to get over it, but Naruto, thanks to his team and his Nissan, was able to get over it. And realized that it was how the shinobi and kunoichi lives work. It was either kill or be killed out there. And he'd rather be on the alive side rather on being the dead side. As Naruto was about to face the next biggest challenge he could ever think of. I'm sorry, what? It is as you have heard, Naruto, said Itachi. Your job is to, well, go to the Shinobi Academy. It is time that we reveal to the public that you exist. But are you sure about this? I mean, for the past 10 years I have hidden myself. I don't think that it might be a good time, said Naruto in all seriousness. Even if you don't think so, Naruto, you need to come out. The Uzumaki Namikaze heritage needs to be revealed right now. It is needed. It is important. And besides, you are not on paper a shinobi. You are completely hidden. And we want you to be on paper and in appearance a shinobi as well. Isn't it the same thing? I'd rather be invisible. Makes my job a lot easier. Even if it does. We want to make sure that you are able to face each and every situation and how you deal with it. We want to see that. And that is why I think of it as another test. As now we see, Naruto sighed and accepted this. As now we see him and Itachi in the civilian clothes walking towards the academy. Don't be saddened, Naruto. Cheer up. Think of it as another test. A genjutsu for sword. A genjutsu is easier to break through and it takes less time. In here, it'll take me a lot of years to get by here. Don't be like that. Only 3 years, Naruto. And after that, you'll be a genin. Oh, genin. Seriously. I'm at least at an Anbu level. True, you are at least at an Anbu level, but it will help you in the long run, Naruto. We need to make some bonds aside from us. You see, we are from the old generation, doing a job where we can die at any time. You need to form bonds of your own age. Make some friends. I'm not interested in playing kids anymore. My life hasn't been a normal since beginning. So why make it normal right now? I don't understand this. As Itachi remained quiet because he did not know how to answer Naruto's that question. As now we see Naruto arrived inside the academy where he met with Iruka and the other Genins to be in the future. One of them was also Itachi's brother. And so Naruto's years began to pass by. Naruto was completely cold and on his own, a loner in the whole academy, being even given a title called as the Loner Wolf since he was alone and had a wolf-like personality. As on the other side, we see after the graduation test was being done and conducted, Naruto's results was shown by the, well, glass globe at the Hokage office where Hiruzen and Danzo was sighing, as they were a little bit disappointed but happy at the same time. The boy has shown exponential skills, but he wasn't able to make any former bonds in his age group. It failed miserably. That was to be expected. I mean, he was around adults almost all of his life, and we expect him to act normal. It was bound to fail, Hiruzen. Seriously. That kid needs to form some bonds that he could trust in the future. We won't be always here, Danzo. The older generation won't be here to watch over him. He needs to have someone. A Hokage needs his Shadow Hokage and the others his age to be by his side when he takes the mentality of the Hokage. When the time is right, he will form bonds. I'm sure of it. I have a great idea regarding that. And so we see Naruto was sitting in the academy with a scene change as Iruka came in and announced that they will be in teams, as Naruto's team was Team 7 with Sasuke Uchiha and unfortunately Sakura Haruno. But the good news out of all of this was that he was under his Nissan, Kakashi Hatake. He was quite surprised that his Nissan would give up the Anbu life once more and be here again, but he was happy that it was him and no one else. As Naruto then lay down on the desk and began to sleep. As hours went by and finally Kakashi arrived when Naruto woke up. "Took you long enough," said Naruto, as the other two was quite surprised as Kakashi eyeballed and said, "My first impression? Yeah, I don't like you." "Hey, just because I painted your mask pink, that doesn't give you the right to not like me." "Still, it was quite hard to wash it out, Naruto. Not a nice prank. And I will prank you back, remember?" As Naruto shivered, because he knew his Nissan was one thing and that was not a pushover. Because he will always serve what was due. And Naruto knew he had one thing coming after him, and that was a revenge prank from Kakashi. As now we see, everything went as in canon, and finally the next day came where the test was conducted, and Naruto was, well, got revenged on by Kakashi when he gave him the 10,000 years of death jutsu, as Naruto was sent flying. And after that, Naruto fought seriously with Kakashi so much that he had to put down his book and fight on equal terms on Naruto. Both of them become blurs to the point where Naruto showing his all skills and Kakashi fighting at full potential was quite amazing, and blurs to the other two Genins. It was so much so that Itachi had to jump in and stop both of them. "You two are quite childish when you act like this. You know that, Kakashi-senpai. Naruto. Seriously. Those two, look at them. They look almost like their brain has been melted and they're broken." As both Sasuke and Sakura could not comprehend what was going on. How could a newbie Genin, even one like Naruto, go head to head, full on, against a seasoned Jonin like Kakashi? As after that we see, Itachi used some of his genjutsu to remove what has happened from their mindscape and disappeared in a murder of crows. As Naruto sighed, and so did Kakashi. As now we see, Naruto then spoke. "So, did I pass?" As that is when the alarm clock rang, and they failed. After the test was conducted again, this time they were given the same canon lecture and finally became the Team 7. During the missions, the D-rank missions, Naruto was opening up to Sasuke as well, and was finally able to bear Sakura. And so now we see, after the final D-rank mission, the first C-rank mission came, and that was to deliver Tazuna, a bridge builder, back to his village, the Land of Waves. So, Team 7 took it and went there, and during along the way, Naruto was able to deduce, and using his jutsu and arsenal as an Anbu, an ex-Anbu, that could still continue to train and do missions as per ordered as Fox, was able to take care of both of the Chunins, who he was stronger by now by them, which was Demon Brothers, but also with the help of his clones send them back to the village as prisoners, clearing out one obstacle. As soon as they arrived at the Land of Waves, they saw a huge mist surrounding them. as Naruto stopped all of them and created an air barrier jutsu. As Naruto, holding the hand seals, began to walk, as a huge sword came flying towards them, Naruto made a clone. The clone, jumping over from his shoulder, jumped into the air. Using the momentum of the blade, he twisted his body to the point and landed on the tree, grabbing onto the blade, and then propelled the energy back, rotating it and throwing it back full force. As after the clone disappeared, we see that everyone stood there as a scream was heard from the other side, as Naruto used the wind gust jutsu, clearing out the mist that was created artificially by chakra, to see that an injured Zabuza Momochi was there against the tree. Damn it, Brat. I gotta give it to you. You got quite nice sword swinging skills. You can say that. But mind I ask, what is Demon of the Mist doing all the way from Kiri over here? Quite a nice way to ask, you say. As that is when Kakashi stopped and the confrontation was about to happen, until a hunter nin appeared and took him away, as Kakashi as well as Naruto nodded to each other. And after arriving towards Tazuna's home, they told that it was a fake hunter nin, and they demanded Tazuna to reveal what is going on, because Naruto has seen the condition of the village, and after finding out, Naruto was enraged, to the point that his eyes turned red with slits in them. For the first time, he was out there for blood, and Kakashi watched with quite shock that Naruto on his own was able to track down Zabuza Momochi as well as his accomplice, the fake hunter nin, as well as Gato, their leader. And without mercy, he killed them all. Except, well, Zabuza and Haku, who were able to escape just in the nick of time, but they were injured badly. Naruto, after all the destruction that he caused and killed the Gato by swiping off his neck from his shoulder, was stopped by Kakashi, who was looking at him as Naruto gave him the cold glare while his face was covered in blood of his enemies. What are you doing here? I told you to stay away. Naruto, calm down. You're not a mindless monster. I'm sorry, said Naruto, as he began to let go of the adrenaline as well as the anger that he was holding in. I don't know what took over me. I suddenly became so pissed when I saw that kid cry and the situation that was going on into this village. I cannot allow this to happen, not to Konoha and to any other village. That is a lie to us. You've done all you can. Let us return. Wait, I saw a lot of treasure. The people will need it. As after that, Naruto used a sealing scroll, 2 of them, and a ride back. As soon as Naruto did a ride back, he cleaned off his, clothes and kept them away, as he didn't have any of the spare clothes, as Naruto sighed. What, no spare clothes? How about this? Ugh, seriously? That orange kill me eyesore jumpsuit? Well, it was left behind by your mother. You wanna wear it or not? As Naruto didn't ask any other thing, he wore it with pride, and Uzumaki's swirl proudly represented on his back and on his shoulder. Naruto put on his headband and gave his iconic smirk. Well, you betcha, sensei. As now we see, Kakashi was happy that Naruto was back to his normal self, but also concerned that his rage was quite enormous. If incurred, what will he do? As now we see, back at Tazuna's house, Tazuna was pacing back and forth because it has been a long time since both Naruto and Kakashi went. As for Sasuke and Sakura, they were quite shocked at seeing Naruto acting like this and his eyes turning red. Sasuke was wondering if Naruto had any dojutsu like himself. On the other side, Sakura was just downright scared of seeing Naruto like this. He was always cold and quite, scary, but what she saw made it 10 times more terrifying. As both of them returned, Naruto placed 2 scrolls on the table. We're back. One of the scrolls is, the funds that I found in Gato's palace. You found Gato? How did you get away? I took him down, and the other one has his hat as proof. Thank you. Thank you so much, said Tazuna as he fell down to his knees. We're free. We're free from Gato finally, he said with a smile on his face as tears fell down, as Naruto looked at him with seriousness in his eyes. I did this because I couldn't look at you and your situation. I couldn't imagine how you have survived so far. But I thought it needed to end. Such scum needs to die, and I will kill them, no matter who or where they are. As both Sasuke and Sakura felt chills run down their spine as they hear Naruto say this so casually. As on the other side, Tazuna, Tsunami, and their son was quite happy. Tsunumi's son was quite happy, which was Inari. As the next day, the village was quite pleased to hear that the terror reign of Kato has ended, and they were free. The bridge was completed, and now they return. Hearing that, the Chunin exams were nearby, and what Naruto did was reported by Kakashi to both of the elders, who were quite pleased by Naruto has done, but also at the same time quite concerned, because those eyes were without a doubt Kyuubi's. And they expected Kakashi to keep a close eye on Naruto in case he leaks out chakra again. They were becoming fearful that the seal might be not working properly, so Jiraiya was called back. As now we see, within this month, Naruto was quite shocked to find out that Kakashi, instead of training him for the Chunin exams, was going to train Sasuke and Sakura, while he himself was going to be trained by a shinobi selected by the Hokage. Naruto obviously was pissed at Kakashi for choosing someone else aside from his brother, but he knew that if Hokage-sama ordered this, there might be a reason behind it. And he found none other than his godfather, which was Jiraiya, to be his next sensei, who taught him how to summon toads and also how to utilize some of his own iconic jutsu, such as Needle Jizo, which was basically his hair turning into rock-hard needles and, well, causing a lot of punctures to the enemies. Since Naruto's hair was quite short, he was able to use it, but to some extent. As on the other side, Naruto was doing some physical training as well. As 1 month passed, the Chunin exams came in, and finally, the first part began. During the first part, as soon as they entered the class where the test was being held, they could sense a lot of killer intent. Naruto releasing all of his killer intent in an instant, surrounding, except for his teammates, was able to cause a lot of cold sweat. But except for one Genin, who was looking at him with a smile on his face from a new village known as Sound Village. He gave Naruto the chills, if anything else. That Genin, said Naruto with narrowed eyes. Something is off about him. And there they met with the other rookies, and not only them, Naruto also met with, well, Kabuto, who he also found quite odd. As now we see, the first part of the test was done. The second part came as Naruto slammed his head on the table, seeing who was the instructor. It was Anko. Training with her had been quite a nightmare since the beginning, because she was that one Nesan that you did not want to mess with. As now we see the second part begin, and that is where things went to hell. Right after they found their scroll that was needed for them to pass this test, they were attacked by Sound Team, and one of the Genins was acting like a certain someone that he has heard from rumors alone. As Naruto was able to deduce that it was an enemy they couldn't fight, Naruto using the smoke bombs was able to create duplicate clones of themselves, and masking the other two's chakra and himself, he dashed away. As the clones bought enough time, until the three of them were cornered, as Orochimaru revealed himself. My oh my, quite the fidgety Charles, aren't you not? I did not know that Konoha had such shinobis in training. That is because you're too dumb to realize that what you are fighting was the after images. As with that, the three of them turned into a log with a puff of smoke, as Orochimaru was quite shocked, impressed, at the same time enraged. But that is when he had a smirk. My oh my, things certainly will get interesting as the exams get near. I hope the others are ready. As now we see, with that being said, Orochimaru left, as on the other side, Naruto, arriving at the tower with his knocked out teammates, was easily able to inform everyone of what has happened. And both of the elders were not quite pleased for what they have heard, but they were quite happy with Naruto's quick thinking that it got the team away safely from him. As now we see, the investigation was beginning in private while the exams continued on. The preliminary rounds were done, and finally the finals were being held within a month later. And as soon as the month passed, the finals came. Orochimaru's plan, alongside many others, began as well. Orochimaru, turns out, had joined hands with the Akatsuki, an organization that has been acting as mercenaries for their own cause, who has come there to help him for their own cause as well as the other villages such as Kiri and Suna, as well as Iwa, and have attacked Konoha. Seeing this, Konoha for the first time was quite fearful because 4 villages and an organization with their own agenda was attacking them. Naruto obviously was quite shocked by all of this. As now we see, Naruto then said, "Damn it, what should I do? How can I protect all of them? I have to do something." As Naruto then realized that he had a trump card of his own. He brought out two tri-pronged kunais and immediately sprung into action. And that is when Eva, Kiri, and even Otto went to the same PTSDs that they went when the Third Great Shinobi War happened. And that was meeting the reincarnation of the Yellow Flash. As if the ghost of the Yellow Flash has appeared. Due to Naruto's unendable enormous chakra pool, Naruto was able to literally neutralize more than 1000 shinobis in an instant using that technique. As now we see Naruto sweating and panting heavily on the other side after literally killing more than 1000 shinobis and konoichis combined from all of the villages together. Seeing that almost half of their forces has been cut down short, the people who were on the enemy side, their resolve begin to waver, and they begin to fear as if the ghost from the past has appeared. Seeing this, Naruto then made some clones, and then he asked for someone's help. "I know I have never talked to you, but I request that you help me." "And why should I?" said a voice from within. "Please. I promise you that I will try my best to not bother you anymore, but please, I really need your help." "What is it in for me, brat?" "I cannot give you anything. I know that much." "Then why should I help? Please, I beg of you." As Kurama smirked and gave Naruto something that he himself found amusing, his hatred corrupted chakra, which was fed into Naruto, infecting his body. As Naruto's body began to bubble, his skin began to fade away. As his eyes turned into red with slit, his skin began to turn orange as tails began to ear and bubble up around him. As now using the Harashin once more, with incorrupted state, Naruto began to literally butcher down each and every member of the enemy forces. As the shinobis that were killed earlier were nothing more than the trailer, for what was about to happen was a brutal one-sided massacre. As the one being massacred was not Konoha in this case, but the enemies that were combined. As Oniki as well as Orochimaru were quite shocked, as alongside with Yagura, to find out that they were the ones on the losing end, because the Cubist in Chirki was still alive and out there, and he was also using the technique of their, enemy from past, as if the ghost of the past has appeared, and that was the Yellow Flash. As instead of a yellow flash, an orange flash with yellow hue appeared and literally killed them, and that was the last thing their enemies saw. As more than 2,500 shinobis were killed that day alongside konoichis, and remaining a few hundred dashed away, leaving the war all by themselves. Konoha shinobis were also injured and trying their best to get away from the civilians and fighting off the enemies. While all of this was going on, we see that Orochimaru was able to do what he came here to do and dashed away, deserting everyone, and that was to kill Hiruzen Sarutobi. But as for the Akatsuki, they were able to deduce that the enemy that they were going to face in the future was quite difficult. But they were not so lucky to escape, because Naruto in that corrupted state was able to even track them down and kill them. Even the massive Tobi, or the fake leader known as Madara or Pain, were not able to stop him. They too succumbed to death, facing the corrupted Naruto in this state. As for Kurama, he was enjoying this to the fullest, because in his opinion, the boy should not stop, and going berserk, he should finish what he had started, as the people would have said, and kill Konoha as well. But even in this state, Naruto was able to restrain himself from killing some of his, allies and his villagers, which was quite shocking to the Kyuubi and quite impressive at the same time. The Kyuubi, for the first time, was impressed, and by none other than Ingans, his mortal enemies. Even in this corrupted state, Naruto was able to impress him, to some extent, as now we see. And after Naruto regained his consciousness, as he regained the control, the corruption died down from within. But the corruption was able to change his mind so much more. He was much more ruthless. The innocent Naruto died that day, and a brutal, more ruthless Naruto was born. As now we see inside the Hokage office, Naruto was standing, looking at the village, as some of the surviving prisoners were captured, while the others who had fled were also being hunted down, while the huge piles were created where the bodies of the enemies were being burned, and the injured were treated. As Danzo appeared, the funeral of Hiruzen is being arranged, Naruto. What are you gonna do? One of the enemies, the major one, escaped. We're gonna hunt him down. I realized one thing, and one thing alone. These people won't let us sit still if allowed them to be regrouped again. My thoughts exactly, Naruto. So what are you planning to do? Simple. Before they attack, we attack. So you're planning a war? Yes. I am declaring an all-out shinobi world war. Welcome to the hellhole. You want to play? It's time we play. As after that, within the next few weeks, the 5th Great Shinobi War was announced. And the 4th one that was short-lived was now. Still not forgotten that the 5th was announced. The other Kages were scared. Except for Kumo. Because they even knew that Konoha was going to target them. And they were arrogant enough to believe that they will be able to defend themselves. And once Naruto and his hardened and much more stronger shinobis and Anbus came, they knew at that moment that they done and gone fucked up. Because that was someone they could not take down easily. Whoever stood in his way was easily butchered down. But he didn't kill all of them. Whoever surrendered was now on his side, either as a prisoner or as a civilian. But Naruto made sure that Konoha spread out. He even destroyed other lands, such as the Land of Wind, and other minor countries like the Land of Snow and Rice Country and Vegetable Country. Conquered them all, some with fear, some by attacking, and some breaking their leaders to the point that their arrogance and egos were crushed. And even the Land of Fire became fearful and wanted Naruto to be gone, since the Land of Fire daimyo thought that Naruto was still under his jurisdiction. But how he had sadly mistaken, because in the end Naruto swiped away his own neck, the Land of Fire's daimyo's neck, with a single swoosh of his katana, and warned his family to stay away from him, because he now is the one true ruler of the whole allied Konoha nation. As Danzo was quite pleased with this, because Naruto went on a warpath to capture each and every part of the, elemental nation, but at the same time was quite fearful as well. But he knew that Naruto trusted him, so all he had to do was be his advisor, and made sure that Naruto put the nation in front of all. As now we see Naruto being saluted by all of his shinobis, even his Nisan, who was his general, a hardened, much more rugged Kakashi, as well as Sasuke and Sakura, who were by the time now his commanders, as he sat down on the throne that he built, with the swords of his enemies that he has taken down, with the headbands of the leaders that he has killed, alongside the heads of the fallen Hokages and the daimyos that he proudly displayed behind him, as he sat down in front of them all, with arrogance and with pride, as Danzo stood there next to him as his advisor. You have done both me and Hiruzen proud, Naruto. Your parents would be proud of you as well. As Jiraiya also then said, even if this is not the way to bring peace, I get it. Your way would have been off, but you also wanted to unite everyone, Naruto. And in this case, I see that there was no other way. Enough about this. Bring him out. As that is when we see, tied up in chains, dragged up while his own blood was dripping, was none other than Orochimaru. As Naruto smirked, looking at him, as Orochimaru was gritting his teeth. Well, look how the mighty have fallen. You expected that you'll be able to hide from me, Orochimaru, but sadly you're mistaken. I own each and every piece of this land now. The land of elemental nations is mine. Under one banner, I have united it all. And you have made the biggest mistake of making me who I am today. You know what? Actually, I should be thanking you for making me who I am. But you made one mistake, and one mistake alone. And that is to kill Hiruzen Sarutobi. That is why I am gonna put an end to you. As making our Rasengan, which was made out of, a lot of steel matrices, Naruto slammed it straight through the head of Orochimaru, blasting and splattering it everywhere, while his own face was covered in blood, which he wiped away, and went down and sat down on his throne with a smirk, knowing fully well that now there was no one left out there that could ever go against him, as well as there was no way that his loved ones would ever be hurt ever again. As this is where I'm going to be leaving this story off, guys. I hope you enjoyed this one, and if you did, then make sure you leave a like and subscribe to my channel if you like the content of this channel. As this is it. Peace.